Yitzi and the Giant Menorah by Richard Ungar. One cold morning on the eve of Hanukkah, a wagon rolled into Helm. "People of Helm," the wagon driver announced, "the mayor of Lublin wishes to bestow upon you a special gift." Huddling together to stay warm, the villagers all tried to guess what the special gift might be. "A fine cedar bench for the synagogue," says Avram the carpenter. "A golden water pump," says Chaim the water carrier. "An ocean full of herring," says Schmutlik the herring vendor. The villagers held their breath as the wagon driver flung blankets from a huge object strapped to the wagon. "Yitzi," whispered Avram to his son, "I have never seen a tree as beautiful as that one." "It's not a tree, father. It's a menorah." Yitzi watched in amazement as the wagon driver, with help from the villagers, unloaded the biggest menorah he had ever seen. 8 dazzling branches flowed from the magnificent stem. That evening, all the villagers met in the square to watch the lighting of the giant menorah for the first night of Hanukkah. "Fellow Chelmites," said Avram, "we must find a way to thank the mayor of Lublin for this wonderful gift." Everyone nodded. Such a gift was surely deserving of more than a simple thank you. Later they returned to their homes. Each villager pondered the same question: what is the most fitting way to thank the mayor of Lublin? On the second night of Hanukkah, after the giant menorah had been lit, Rivka the cook declared, "I have it! I will make the mayor a special batch of my famous potato latkes." "An excellent idea," the villagers agreed. The sun had barely risen the next morning when Rivka began cooking her famous latkes. As soon as they were ready, she wrapped them up and handed the bundle to Schmutlik. "Ride like the wind, Schmutlik. You must get to Lublin before the latkes cool down. And here," said Rivka, "take this jug of applesauce to go with them." Schmutlik hopped on his horse, Lucille, and began the journey to Lublin. Before long, the aroma of the latkes made Schmutlik dizzy with desire. He could stand it no longer. Ripping open the bundle, he devoured all the latkes in less than a minute. And while Schmutlik was eating the latkes, Lucille slurped down all the applesauce. When they saw what they had done, Schmutlik and Lucille hung their heads low, turned around, and headed back to Helm. On the third night of Hanukkah, after the giant menorah had been lit, Yitzi turned to Avram. "Father, we still haven't sung any Hanukkah songs." "There's no time for singing, Yitzi," answered Avram. "We must solve the problem of how to thank the mayor of Lublin." "Listen up, everyone," said Ham next morning. "I have it. The best way to thank the mayor is to give him something he can't possibly find in Lublin." "But Ham," said Avram, "what does Helm have that Lublin does not?" "The answer lies all around us," said Ham. "All I see is snow," said Avram. "Precisely," said Ham. "But Ham, Lublin has snow too," said Schmutlik. "Of course, but our snow is whiter and much more sparkly." Ham loaded up his cart with 2 big barrelfuls of special Helm snow and set out for Lublin. The sun shone brightly as the cart bounced along. Soon it was so warm that Ham had to undo the buttons on his coat. And when he glanced back to check on the barrels, he received a terrible shock. All the snow had disappeared, and the barrels held only water. "Wait until I catch the thief who stole my snow," Ham grumbled. But then he turned his cart around and headed back to Helm. On the fourth night of Hanukkah, after the giant menorah had been lit, Yitzi said, "Father, can we sing at least one Hanukkah song tonight?" "Yitzi, we have more pressing business than singing songs," answered Avram. And then turning to everyone, he said, "I have it. I will carve a fine dreidel for the mayor. Whenever he spins it, he will think of Helm." Avram hurried to his shop and worked late into the night. In the morning, he showed everyone the dreidel he had carved. "Exquisite," they all agreed. So Avram hitched his horse to the wagon and set off for Lublin. On the way, he couldn't resist stopping to spin the dreidel. The hoot of an owl brought Avram to his senses. "Oh no, where is the day gone? I must hurry to Lublin, but which way is it?" He looked up and down the road. "I know. I will spin the dreidel one more time. Whichever direction it points must surely be the way." Whistling to himself, Abram spun the dreidel and set off in the direction it pointed. He soon found himself in Miskink. When he spun the dreidel again, he ended up in Warsaw. And by the time Abram arrived back in Helm, without ever finding his way to Lublin, the 5th and 6th nights of Hanukkah had already come and gone. On the 7th evening, after the giant menorah had been lit, the villagers gathered in the town hall. "People of Chelm," Avram announced, "tomorrow night is the last night of Hanukkah. If we do not thank the mayor of Lublin by then, he will most certainly think us ungrateful." A small voice piped up. "I have an idea, Father." "Yitzi," said Avram impatiently, "now is not the time for singing." "Everyone, please listen," said Yitzi. "Schmutlik, you must ride to Lublin and ask the mayor to climb the big hill outside of town tomorrow evening." "And what is the gift I should bring?" said Schmutlik. "There is no need for you to bring anything," said Yitzi. "But surely I must bring a gift with me to thank the mayor." "Trust me," said Yitzi. "The mayor will find his gift when he gets to the top of the hill." The following day, when the sun was high and everyone met in the village square at Yitzi's urging, they lifted the giant menorah onto the cart and set out for the hill just outside of Chelm. It was slow going, slogging up the big hill, but by the time they finally reached the top, the sun had already set, and no sooner had they put it down than it was time to light the giant menorah for the last night of Hanukkah. "So, Yitzi," said Avram, once every branch of the menorah had been lit, "what is the gift for the mayor of Lublin?" "Father, you're looking at it," said Yitzi. "Yitzi," said Avram, "I am afraid you are mistaken. All I see is the giant menorah." "Look again," said Yitzi. Everyone looked. This time they saw not only the giant menorah, but also 9 brilliant flames dancing in the night sky. What a wondrous sight! Yitzi began singing, "Hanat Halai, we kindle these lights," and all the villagers joined in. At that very moment, under the same night sky, the mayor trudged up the hill outside of Lublin. It was a long climb, and his legs felt heavier with every step. After a while, he had to stop. "I'm too tired to carry on," he said to himself. But then he heard a sound. It was only a faint wisp carried by the wind, but it sounded like singing. With renewed strength, he began to climb again. Finally arriving at the top of the hill, he turned toward the direction of the music. Something on the distant hill filled his heart with joy. It was the giant menorah, lit up in all of its magnificence. The mayor of Lublin stood there for a long time, delighting in the perfect thank you from Yitzi and the people of Chelm. The end.